let's now talk about what are the methods of search, right? Because I think that it's really, what's great is like, it's really easy for us to just go in and just start running a bunch of searches, right? Fantastic, absolutely. But I think that it's really important to be a little bit more systematic, because you might, it's just, you're going to improve your chances, right? You're going to improve your averages. In the sales automation game, you know, we're looking for 1% to convert. We're looking for 3-5% to engage back with us, right? And we have that luxury because out of 58, I need, you know, I'll run one more search and I need one of those people to hop on a phone call with me, right? Like, that's what I'm looking for. And so that means that we both have to be okay with, you know, sending out, you know, enough messages. And then the second thing is that we have to be able to create a message that is articulate enough and is actually compelling enough to that business owner to get them to want to take the next step without us ever having any idea who we are, right? So that's why we're playing kind of the small numbers. However, if we can use these tactics, this next tactic what I'll talk about is we can really improve our efficiencies. And that is, I talked about the sniper or the sweep method, right? And so let's talk about the first one, which is the sweep method. And so when I do the sweep method, what I'm doing is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to look in Florida, Orlando neighborhood. Oh, thank you, Cash. I'm going to do Florida, Orlando neighborhoods, okay? So then, boom. So this is one way that I could do it right here, right? Is I've got these, because what I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm searching for businesses that are actually, you know, sometimes they're going to say Orlando, but a lot of times they'll say where they're actually located, right? They're actually not going to say Orlando. They're going to say the smaller cities. And maybe I'll say Orlando, Florida. I don't know. Maybe I'll do this. Let's do map. And you know what? Probably the better thing is just to do it on as I'm thinking about this, right here on Google Maps, right? And what I love about this, obviously, you're not all, you know, if you're using text in bulk or you're using the Yelp leads, then obviously it's not going to apply here. But you can also just do this, right? And this is not necessarily a list, but I'm going to go like this, and I'm just going to just start putting these ones in, right? I'm going to put this as a location, this is a location, this is a location, this is a location, and I'm just going to sweep, right, from one stage to the other, right? Yes, it's a good way to do it. I'm just going to sweep from one part to the other. That way I can make sure that I hit all of the areas that, you know, in this, so that way I hit all of the restaurants in that particular area, right? And that's the sweep method. The other method is the sniper method, which is going into, you know, if you're going to approach it and take a little bit larger of a geographic, you know, radius, if you're going to go outside just the city, what we like to do is we like to say, you know, richest cities in Florida. Actually, I'll do richest neighborhoods. Yep, yeah, Cash, neighborhoods better. So richest neighborhoods in Florida. And what this is going to do is this is going to, once again, pull up these Longboat Keys, Belle Isle, Pinecrest, Parkland. And so if I'm going to go after, you know, restaurants may or may not be, that may or may not be the best thing to do, right? When I'm thinking about restaurants, I think about like what cities might have the largest, you know, disposable income, right? So let's see, I might say largest disposable income Florida cities. So here we go. Look at this. We got counties. So then I can take these right here, and this is not going to be, you know, enough. So I'm going to have to go in here, and I'm going to have to go in here, and I'm going to go, you know, Collier cities, you know, in Florida, right, and find out all those cities and put those in a campaign, and then put all the cities in St. John and put those in a campaign. And this is just ways. Come on, Cash. This is just ways that you can be a little bit more precise about who it is that you are targeting, right? So all of this right here for the lead gen is when I think about, okay, who do I need to go after, right? And where are they, right? What do they look like? What do they call themselves? and where are they? And you can just make a list. I know that it's coming, right? You know, Text and Bulk's going to have some cool tracking stuff. RoboContact obviously allows you to kind of track your campaigns. So I would make sure, obviously we ran just a bunch of them and we're testing and stuff. And so what I would encourage you to do is Cash. I would encourage you to do is to name them, right? Name them, and then no matter which method that you're doing, right? No matter which method that you're going about, each campaign will have its proper name and will have the, you know, that way you can kind of track it that way, right? And I think that when you do that, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to just get started, right? All right, so let's talk about the second part, which is outreach. And what I love about this is that, and I love about these tools and these systems, is that you have so many options in terms of how you can actually contact these people, right? Now, that's why I was paying attention to what information did I get from RoboContact, right? Obviously I got their address. So if I wanted to, I could send direct mail, right? Like that is something that I've sent close to $100,000 worth of direct mail in my business career. I would not encourage you to do that, but I've done that. And has it been profitable at times? Absolutely. So my point is, we actually sent, you know, even this past year, we sent literally letters in the mail, handwritten letters to, you know, specific businesses. So my point is that now this outreach is you have that possibility, right? Am I going to recommend it? No, because you have fucking RoboContact to do it for you. But now we've got these different options here. So when I think about like restaurants, right? One thing that I definitely have not put together yet, but definitely what we're going to be putting together is a contact us form to a demo bot, you know, just message, right? What I love about RoboContact is that obviously you're able to submit the contact us forms, and that is just a game changer, right? You can send links, and that way you can almost cut through a lot of the engagement step, and you can go straight to the qualify if you can build a sales page, a sales video, a ClickFunnels, whatever you want to do, a calendar, you know, some calendar, you know, scheduling services are even allowing you to add like sales copy. You know, man, even if it's a fucking Google form, there's so many ways to get creative about how you qualify and schedule people. The point is that RoboContact allows you to do the contact form. So what I'm thinking is I have no idea right now what's going to work, frankly, right? This is a new space, right? And I will tell you one thing is on the other side of it, we actually are mapping out a list of businesses to actually walk into, right? So in addition to this, we are not just leaning on one method. We're doing everything, including literally using this to map out all of the restaurants in an area so we can go in and actually walk in and show them our stuff. So all of these different ways of outreach, right? We're not just gonna leave it to one. The second thing is obviously emails, right? What's cool is that there's a ton of emails on here, right? So you have those, and what I love about it now is that with the Hunter API, you can make sure that you're only sending emails to verified emails. It obviously is going to cost a little bit of money, but what I'm talking about is that when you run a campaign, you actually have the option to, if you go down here, so you can click this button that says only send emails to verified email address. And what that means is that Hunter, right, the Hunter IO app is actually going to verify whether that email is real or not. And the reason you don't want to send emails to fake emails is that it comes up as like an undeliverable thing. You know, it's like it sends a flag to Google Maps, or it sends a flag to whatever kind of email gods are looking over, you know, the email services. And if you have a lot of sends that are not getting through to good emails or you know, real emails or live emails, that makes it a lot easier for your email to get, or your email to get blacklisted. So this right here is huge in just knowing that we're going to be, like at the beginning, you didn't really know if it was actually a still a live, email, because for heaven's sake, people have a ton of random old email addresses on their website, which is just kind of ridiculous, So emails is going to be a big thing for us. And when I think about it, honestly, I have no idea what the hook is going to be, right? I have no idea what is going to get a restaurant excited to click. And so in my head, I've already, thought and realized that we're going to be creating, an email sequence with a variety, right? So let's do this here, with a variety of not only emails and email groups, right? Like that's going to be so important for us to be able to know what is actually going to work. So subject lines, right? Testing your subject line. I'm thinking about it, and we're probably going to have five to six different subject lines, right? And we may not launch them all at once, but when you're doing this series of automation, right, it's like really important to realize that there's so many variables, and especially in emails, the first thing is figuring out if it's actually going to work, right? Like it's actually going to get through. That's why the 100 APIs is so big. That's the first kind of chink, or the first stage to get through, the first gate to get through, if you will. The second gate to get through is someone actually going to open it, right? Is it going to actually be compelling enough? Are you going to have a compelling enough subject line? Is it going to be relatable? Is it going to be understanding, right? Like I'm not sure that the whole like mysterious email subject lines are the best thing anymore. I would be open to obviously seeing data and stuff like that, but I know recently so many people have been using those subject lines, and people don't have the time of day to go in and figure out and try and decode what your email is about, right? So I think being as clear as possible. So what we're talking, like what I'm thinking about is I'm going to say like new mobile loyalty program for, and then I can include their business name, right? So that's what I'm thinking. I'm going to put like new loyalty program, or like something like that.
George,
right?
No, George, no.
Did you say something, John? Oops. So that's what I mean, right? Is by being as clear as possible. And so this mobile loyalty program, right? You're like, well, what's that? That's kind of what we're calling our service, right? We're calling it a mobile. Like one of the features is going to be a mobile stamp card, and this is going to be done through Facebook Messenger and through a chatbot. But notice that we're actually speaking in relatable terms to them, right? So I think I like that. Another thing that I might say in the subject line is like, no more empty nights for, and then I'll put their business name, and then something like that, right? Because restaurants, they don't, like their worst nightmare is when their lights are on, they're paying money, and nobody's sitting, like the tables are empty, right? Because they're literally burning money. Something like that, right? So those are the ways that I'm thinking about subject lines. So these message tokens are obviously key. Those are big, and being able to make it look personalized, and being able to I might say another one that I might try out is like mobile loyalty program for restaurants in, and then I might put city. Right, I might do something like that, or I might put attention. I even like this. This is one of the only ones I don't like the mysterious, like, oh, here, want to know what I have for lunch, or like just something random. But I am a big fan of attention, and then if you can put in their business name, I think that is really valuable too, because sometimes urgency helps. So these are the ways. This is how I'm thinking about testing subject lines, because I have no idea what's going to work, and you need to put out enough stuff to figure. Like I find that The reason I say that is too many people, they go, oh, email doesn't work. It doesn't work. Cold email doesn't work. I tried it. And it's like, okay. And if you dig into what they tried, either they were sending them to bum emails, or the thing got blacklisted, or they tried one subject line, or they were putting, links in all the email. Or like they're just doing stuff that you have to iterate and try stuff, and be willing to have different iterations. And this is a big thing that I had to learn, that I hated making multiple variations of something, right? I was like, I'm gonna make one and then it'll be good, but it's just you don't know. So then we get into the content, okay? And I'm always a big fan of making content or making the email message as simple as possible, right? Because right now we're in the outreach stage. This is the outreach, and all we're trying to get them to do is engage back with us, right? Like we're trying to get them to bite, right? Either by clicking a link that we can kind of go back and track, right? I like that ability of it. If you put links in here, you can go back and actually look and see, who's opening your emails, and then who's clicking it, right? I would add in some customization so that you can track it even better, right? And zap it off to a Google Sheet so you know exactly who's clicking. But your goal right here with this email is just, or this message, just to get them to engage with you, right? And the best way that I've found that is to dangle something valuable in front of them. Now, the difference is that how much value are you willing to give, and then how valuable it actually is that, right? So I'll share with you one of the early things that we did when we were selling chatbots. The very, very early thing that we did is we offered to set up, we said, if you want us to set up a free automated, or if you want us to set up an automated messaging system on your Facebook page for free, just reply back yes, right? Just reply back yes. And that's all that we did. So actually, that's what I'm thinking about. So I might say attention. I'm going to say attention business name. We are testing a new mobile stamp card. If you'd like to test it for free for 14. If you'd like to, I'm not even gonna put it there. If you'd like to try it for free, just respond back yes to this email. And then I'll put, so I might create variations of this, but notice what I'm trying to do is it's super simple. I'm dangling it something for free. So I'm just thinking about this. We might offer like a trial period. I'm just thinking about that because it wouldn't be too difficult in terms of the integrations and things like that. And my point is that I really want to give them something that they're going to want, right? Like something that they're really gonna want, that they'll reply back. And when I think about it, either you create something, and all we did when we said this, right, and we were doing this and we were targeting real estate agents, all we did was we just went in and we set up a chat fuel account for them. Like that was it. We're like, yep, okay, you got an automated messaging system, so anytime someone messages this, they'll go into the system right here, you can access it, and it's free. It's free to have, and blah blah blah. It's all set up for them. It had nothing built in for them, but it gave us that opportunity for us to say now, okay, well, if you would like us to build it all the way out, right, and make it fully functional, do all these cool things, if you'd like us to manage it every month, okay, we can talk about that. And it also lowered the amount of friction that was there in order for someone to actually respond. Because if we're like, oh, if you have to buy it, or oh, if you want to hop on a sales call, or oh, if we put all these barriers between it, there's people who are either worried about being busy, or worried about too much money, or whatever it is. So what I found is that you want to eliminate as many of those barriers, and just finding creative ways, right? So maybe another thing that I was thinking about outside of this mobile stamp card, was like, you know, is obviously the kind of the training route, right? I mean, that's also because I'm a digital marketer, but there's the ebook route, there's the video route, right? There's the, I'd even imagine, you know, it'd be really cool for, you know, to be able to offer some sort of, maybe even like I'm wondering what tool might be best to offer for restaurants that's in the tier 5 package, right? And maybe you offer, you know, you offer them like an invoicing you account, or something. I don't know. Like it would just be, I would have to think about that, right? But finding some way to get creative about what you can offer to them so that they actually will engage with you, right? All right, let me check in here. Sean, yeah, okay.